Discovery. Yeah. So today we are building again the deploying Buildbarn. Deploying Buildbarn on Kubernetes with mTLS on the side. And this is a really slow, this is, again, this is not for someone who just, oh, I just got a, oh, wow. So this is happening live. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm being a bit emotional. So the thing, what happened in the past stream, the thing what happened in the first stream, right? Wait, I should go on Twitch actually. I should go on Twitch. And this is nice. Someone from Tweak just wrote back. No, wait. I think I'm getting more relaxed with this streaming thing. Wait. Stream. Creator dashboard. Creator dashboard, stream manager. So I'm live. Although here says unstable. And I don't have any encoding. Dropped frames. Oh, I see. I have dropped frames. Sometimes in the dropped frames output the bitrate is 6,000. Not sure if I should up that number though. Unstable. Okay, so I'll just pop out the chat. Users in chat, pop out. So someone wrote back from Tweak. Isn't this nice? So in the first video, I was going through this blog post by Tweak, from Tweak, by Tweak. Anyway, Tweak is a cool company. It's not that I'm not trying to promote Tweak. It's just many Nix and Haskell people work there. So, and they're really nice. So far I guess that's the imposter kind of syndrome where that's just me, of course, where you feel like no one will answer back. But actually, I just got an email and Arno Spivak, actually, who is the main project, leader, he just says, maybe that's not nice of me to read this email out loud. Maybe, I'm not sure. But basically what he's saying, okay, let me add Yuri to this conversation. Yuri, see the gist below. As the author of the blog post, he'll be the best person to help you. Okay. And also, yes, I emailed them and says that this is I didn't say lame. I said like, this is obviously me being very indirect. This is obviously me. This is probably obviously something like that, being very indirect in trying to apply for a Nix job. So they are actually hiring Nix people. And well, some of the best Nix people work there. And okay, my idea was just to kind of just touch base. I didn't really think I could get the job, but it's just, I wanted to kind of apply and just to see how it goes. And in the sense of maybe I get inspired and say hi, just that. And I think maybe that's helpful also, that was the idea actually, not really to get a job. I don't think that, but he does say, I encourage you to apply if that's something that you want to do. Which is a good point, right? Sometimes you think that's what I want to do, but I'm not, I'm not good enough, and then you don't apply. But maybe if that's something what you want to do, and yeah, that's someone that I was in New York. I lived in New York for a while, and I was waitering table stand, and I saw this Lisp guy. And the Lisp guy was writing some Lisp code on an iPad on the bar, right? He having a drink at a bar. And then I looked at it. I don't know. I don't know how. I think I looked. I saw he's writing code, and I just said something like, "Oh, you write code, and what are you writing? Oh, Lisp. Oh, Lisp is cool and stuff." And he said, "Oh, I'd give you a job." You know. I said, "Why? Why would you give me a job? I just wait. You know, waitering tables." And he says, "Because you like it and you're inspired by it. You know." So that was nice. Anyway, as for the Nix position, I encourage you to apply if that's something that you want to do. The worst that can happen is that you don't get chosen, right? These are functional programmers, so they kind of define the maybe type as well. The worst case and the best case, right? The worst that can happen is that you don't get chosen. It's pretty competitive. Yeah, I know. Because we don't have a lot of openings at the moment. But you can only get selected if you try. Right. The other functional programmer told me I have a non-zero chance, which is a nice way how to say yes, right? I have a non-zero chance to get in. Anyway, this is just something cute, right? This is nice. Thank you. Okay. So, but he will... Well, let's do something now. Oh, it's good that I wrote that in a gist, because I can update the gist now. That's why I think it's nice to share gists, because you can update them, right? Because if I only shared that in the email, I would have to write again an email and stuff. Oh, it lost the day 2. Update public gist. Yeah, I think I was writing day 1. Issues trying out Buildbarn. Hello, Twig team. Okay, so Yuri is going to... Yuri is the person who wrote this. So that means I'm going to put here issues trying out mTLS. I'll put day 1 here, actually. I'll put day 2. Fix the DRNV. I had it installed in Home Manager. I had it declared. What's the name? Programs. I had it declared programs DRNV enable true in Home Manager. Which somehow didn't work well. Then moved it to NixOS. Then moved it out of it. Then where did I move it? How do we say that? Then moved it was in Home Manager block, and then moved it to NixOS. To the rest. Oh gosh, I don't know how to even say this. I wanna say I had programs DRNV enable true declared. I have to use ChatGPT for this. Declared in Home Manager block, and then I moved it into, how do you say the rest of the configuration .nix? Is that a NixOS module? Well, yes. You like the thing is, you declare stuff. Okay, do I have the? Okay, bat. So these are actually okay. The whole file is a module. The whole file is a module, and we import right? Where is it? We import here a module. Although I keep forgetting, like this is a sub-module. This is also a module imported here as a sub-module. But it's just, curiously, I forgot what is the difference between this and when you have these, you know, kinds of brackets. There is some subtle difference. Anyway, these are all modules. So, because each line in configuration.nix is a sub module, which itself is a module. As you can see, I'm confused about this. Yes, it's a composition of modules, right? Where each option or block of options corresponds to a sub-module or configuration module itself. So in your case, home manager block, when you add programs there and we enable true, declared in your home manager configuration, it was part of the home manager module, which manages user-specific configurations. Okay, makes sense. Move to configuration.nix. If you moved programs there and we enable true to your system level configuration.nix, I could say system level, yeah. System level part of my configuration.nix. System level part, yeah, I could say it like that. System level part. Then moved it. Didn't work well. Then I moved it to the system level part of configuration. .nix, and now it works. Now it works properly. And now it works properly, which means the command. Now, what is the command? Let's go to cd code Buildbarn. Okay, this is loaded. Now, when I run limactl now, where is it? Lima, what did I do? Okay. limactl, right. limactl create k8 name case tty false. Now, this is the stuff what I get. Works properly. But when I was testing it, why it doesn't work, the limactl create command, I deleted the .lima. You get that because you already created a KA instance during the last stream. Already exists. You mean the one that we did with the Nix shell? Yeah. Yeah. And then created the instance using the Nix shell. Okay. Let's see. Now I'm at it again. Okay, I'll just write day 3. Okay, now I'm at it again. But okay, instance K already exists. Stable Joy Lima K8S. I see. But how do I? Oh, I just have to run it. That means I just have to run it. If you want to rerun it, you'll have to remove the instance with limactl remove. That's the limactl remove command. Okay. Someone on stream. Should I use someone or your name? Trick. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. It's not important. Someone on stream suggests to remove the instance that is already running. Okay, what do I get now? limactl create. Okay. It's already running with. So you said limactl remove k8s. limactl remove. Have you done this whole thing? Like how far you got, Drake? By the way, hi. How far did you get with this k8s? Okay, already stopped removing. Okay. I'll just update this because in case he's reading it. Edit. Not far, mostly just following along with the stream. All right. Someone. Okay. So, okay. Well, I guess now we are on the move, right? On the move. Okay, wait. So now I'm going to run this again. Okay. Without this backslash here. Okay. And go. Oh, interesting. Download using cache. Oh, it saved it in cache. Using cache. Info run limactl start k8. Okay, so it won't download it. It has it already in the cache. So I'll just do limactl start k8s. Using the instance k8s starting localhost port. Waiting for the essential requirement. 1 out of 2 SSH. Lima start K8S. Oh, interesting. Then I run the limactl create again, and it saved. And then what did I have? Look at this. limactl start, and it works again, and it works, though it saved the downloaded stuff in the cache. Then I run limactl start k8s, waiting for the optional requirement kubeadmin to be installed. Using the existent instance. Well, this is taking a while. The optional requirement, okay. Forwarding, okay. Optional requirement. Interesting. It's doing a lot of stuff. Have you ever played with these things like Buildbarn and the Kubernetes and stuff? It's just interesting. It's like I never played with this stuff because I guess, you know, when you are, I guess you would if you work as a developer and maybe like with more people, and then you naturally tend to learn about these things. But what is it doing? The optional requirement 3 out of 6 is satisfied. What is it? Cube admin to be completed. Never heard of Buildbarn. I have heard of Cube, but never used it. What I have used before is Docker. Oh, Docker, yes. Docker. So, do you work as a dev? I mean, yeah. Do you like? Maybe this is too private to ask on the stream. Waiting for the optional requirement 5 or 6 Kubernetes cluster to be running. Kubernetes cluster. It sounds like a Star Trek thing, you know. Kubernetes cluster. So I'm not sure actually what is a Kubernetes cluster. I mean, it sounds basically, because that, what's like the difference between what is a Kubernetes cluster? Simply said, what is a Kubernetes cluster? Is a group of computers, nodes, okay, but is that like a VM that work together to run and manage applications using containers like Docker? That run and manage applications using containers like Docker. So yes, Kubernetes is an orchestrator. So think of it as a control system for your applications, ensuring they are always running, can handle high traffic, and can recover if something goes wrong. But when would you use this? I guess only when you, I guess you don't, yeah, key points simply explain. Nodes, the computers in the cluster. Master node manages the cluster. So there's a master. Decides where and how applications run. Worker nodes do the actual work of running your applications. Master node. I thought it's declarative in the sense that you write, like, why do you have a master node? Container, small, lightweight packages of your app. So it can orchestrate Docker. So it's like an abstraction over it. Kubernetes ensures your containers are running as expected. Why use a cluster? Automatically add or remove app instances based on demand. All right, it's about scaling. Healing. Restart apps if they crash or move them to a healthy machine. Yeah, I saw an example. Someone had a NixOS private, like at home, a home cluster. And if something like breaks or falls, the Kubernetes like sends it on a different server, something like that. Well, that's not well explained. Resource efficiency, share resources like CPU. In short, it's an orchestra conductor. Just one thing though. So why do you have a master? Master, I thought there is like in Nix some kind of declarative configuration file. I'm just curious about the master thing. Yes, operates with declarative configuration file in YAML. The master node exists because Kubernetes needs a central brain to interpret and enforce that declarative configuration across the cluster. You declare what you want in YAML, and Kubernetes then manages that state, the state, to ensure the real-world cluster matches what you declared. Role of the master node. All right. Why not fully decentralized? Yeah. Unlike Nix, Kubernetes had to manage real-time decisions across multiple machines. Yeah. So it's not really fully decentralized, right? Okay. The run limactl shell to OpenShell messages. Export copied from kubectl. Okay. limactl start k8s. I'll just update the limactl. Then I run limactl and wait for the output. I'll just do like this. What's the last thing in the output? And it works. Okay. Okay. Well, that was nice from Twig also. It's a nice kind of company. I mean, I don't know what they do, but it's nice when they take, you know, I work in a place where they would never write back something like this. You know, so and then you can tell the difference, right? You can tell the difference where you work and, you know, what would be nice. And it works. And it works. Okay, so we did this. So here arguments are name, set, provision, TTY, false, disables console prompts and confirmations. You can start the final VM and check if it's ready with limactl start k8s kubectl get node. Oh, export kubeconfig lima kubectl get node. What if I do kubectl get node? Yeah, couldn't get server, but okay, we did this actually. Start k8s. These are like, okay, these are single lines. So I'm gonna do this export kubeconfig, export kubeconfig, and then kubectl get node. Oh, look at this. My prompt change. Kubernetes admin Kubernetes. And it works. Kubectl get node. Name, status, roles, age, version. Editing, and it works. I'm following along. I'm following along now. Issues trying out update. I'll just do the update at the start of this. Wait. Update. I actually resolved these issues. I actually resolved these issues now. Update public gist. Okay. It will take some time to bootstrap Kubernetes, after which it should take some time. Oh yeah, so that's, yeah, it will take some time to bootstrap. That's why we've been waiting. After which it should show you one node called lima k8s with ready status. Lima k8s. This is it, ready, control plane. So probably that's the master node. 4 minutes, 6 minutes, yeah. 129, 132. Buildbarn will need some persistent volumes to store data. Let's teach it. Let's teach it. Teach it to use the mounts. It's a funny way to. Let's teach it. What do you mean, let's teach it? Let's teach it to use the mounts that we created earlier for that. First, configure a storage class. So this is basically like installing Linux. No, like installing Arch Linux or something, where we created where you create the drives, right? And you format it and you mount it. Because before in that command, it created there were like 4 things, drives, persistent volumes, or like BTRFS, I don't know what's the name. Let's teach it to use the mounts that we created earlier for that. First, configure a storage class. kubectl apply API. So we just have to copy paste this. API version, kind, storage class, metadata, name, fast disks, annotations. No provision of volume binding, wait, end of file. Well, okay. Like this. Okay, storage class, storage, fast disks created. It should respond with storage class, storage KS, fast disk created. Then start a local volume provisioner from SIG storage local static provisioner. Then, then start a local volume provisioner from SIG storage local static provisioner. What's this thing? There's some script or what? Is that a script? YAML kubectl apply f. SIG storage local static provisioner. Static provisioner of local volumes. Kubernetes. The local volume, this is so much. The local volume static provisioner manages persistent volume lifecycle for pre-allocated disks by detecting and creating PVs for each, persistent volumes, for each local disk on the host and cleaning up the disks when released. It does not support dynamic provisioning. Local persistent volumes allow users to access local storage through the standard PVC interface in a simple and portable way. The PV contains node affinity information that the system uses to schedule pods to the correct nodes. So there's a lot of vocabulary here. Yeah, it's like I've seen like people go and get Kubernetes certifications. But there is this vocabulary to really understand, to even know what it means. It's like I read this, I kind of get what it means, but then don't. External static provisioner is provided here to help simplify local storage management. File system volume mode. Yeah, I guess it would be easier if I work with something, you know, as a dev, and then you see something that maybe simplifies that, and then you can. It would be easier to get the vocabulary. Well, okay. Let's just copy this too. Okay, local storage provisioner node binding created. Run kubectl get pv to see that it created 4 volumes. kubectl get pv. No resources found. They may take several seconds to appear. Oh, you can check the provisioner's logs for any errors with kubectl logs daemon set local volume provisioner. Okay, yes, it took a while. Reclaim. Okay, we have 4 fast disks. Well, this is, but is that like a VM? That's not like a VM. I'm still. Did it create it did create VM with Lima CTL, with Kimu. But are these 4 VMs or 1 VM with 4 disks? I'm just kind of like, is this a 1 VM with 4 disks? Or what? The output is showing persistent volumes in your Kubernetes cluster. A persistent volume represents storage that your Kubernetes applications can use, and it's independent of the nodes or the containers themselves. Oh, that's incredible. Wait a second. It's independent of the nodes or the containers. So the containers themselves. Okay, from your example, it looks like these PVs are local volumes with a fast disk storage class. A persistent volume is a chunk of storage in the cluster that can be used by application spots to store data. But so PVs are like outside of the containers. So do you understand this? Outside of the containers. Persistent volumes exist outside of the containers, and they're designated to provide storage that is independent of the lifecycle of the pods or containers that use them. So I guess this is where how it handles stuff external to containers. A PV is, so if I move something from a node to a node, does it first go to the PV? It's not tied to any specific container. Containers can access a PV by claiming it. Why are PVs separate? Okay, pods are ephemeral. Okay, which just means they just, you know, vanish or appear. Pods and their containers can be created, destroyed, or moved. If data is stored inside the container, it would be lost when the pod is deleted. PVs ensure data survives beyond the life cycle of the pod. Oh, so it's like a backup also. Shared storage. So this is how they share stuff. Multiple pods can collaborate to access the same data. You define a persistent volume. That's what we did. The PVC specifies the amount. Read, write, read many. Okay, we did this. Kubernetes matches the PVC to an available PV and binds them together. So PVC is the persistent volume claim. Real life analogy. Think of PVs as hard drives in a data center. They're provisioned and ready to store data. Containers are like computers that can plug in a hard drive to use the storage. Yeah, because I thought the pod has a drive itself. External storage resources. Okay, well, that's enough of, you know, context. Run kubectl get PV. Okay. So we have this. Now we're going to deploy Buildbarn. So BB deployments provides a custom, they'll always use the K, customize template to deploy Buildbarn. Let's clone it, patch one service so that we can run it locally and deploy. BB deployments. That's just the website. BB deployments. Example deployments of Buildbarn on various platforms. So in simple terms, what's Buildbarn? Buildbarn is distributed build system. I would say build system to speed compiling. Okay, that's what we were saying. Shared cache and running tests for large projects by leveraging a cluster of machines based on remote execution API. So that's why we need Kubernetes. But we don't actually need it, right? We are kind of simulating it. Buildbarn lets you send a work to a cluster of powerful servers so they can share the workload and complete the build much faster. But okay, are there any benefits of using Buildbarn and Kubernetes for a single developer? No, probably. I just want to see what he'll write. Can offer benefits, but depends on your specific. Faster builds with caching. Right, you don't have to wait, even if you are alone. Buildbarn's caching can save significant time. Efficient use of resources. You can deploy and manage workloads on your local machine or a small cluster, making it easy to test. Learning and skill building. Yes. That's for DevOps. We're doing actually DevOps. Okay, so BB deployments provides a customized template to deploy Buildbarn. Let's clone it, patch one service so that we can run it locally and deploy. Git clone HTTPS Okay, that's the code. I guess we can just run this, right? BB deployments, push D. So push D. What's push D? Push D BB deployments, Kubernetes. Okay, and then we have this thing here, EOF. And we're going to do kubectl apply. Okay, and then kubectl rollout status. Push D basically like CD. Oh. But what's the context? Like push D. Where do you use that? Push D. Push D. CD. Oh, push D CD. Is that like a Linux command? That's a Linux command. No. It's a shell command. Oh, I think I've never used this. Used to navigate between directories more efficiently by managing a directory stack. Temporarily changes the current working directory while keeping track of the previous directories you visited. Changing directory, saving your place so that you can easily return to it later. Well, I never used this actually. Onto the stack. It's like, oh, when you use push D, the current directory is added to the stack and you move to the specific directory. You can think of the stack as like a list of directories you're navigating through. And pop D. This is nice. It's like push and pop. Pop D removes the top directory from the stack and moves you back to the next one. Essentially undoing the last push D and viewing the stack. Push D, pop D, and Deers. Wow. This is nice. Wow. So have you used NixOS for a long time? I mean, how long have you been on NixOS? I've been like since 2019, on and off a bit. Half a year. Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Half a year. Yeah. Yeah, I've been like for 4 or 5 years. 5 years. It's too long. Oh. Do you like it so far? Are you gonna stay? Was it really like when I moved to NixOS, even when I learned about it, it was like, yes, it's almost like a rock dropped from my back, you know. It's like all of this stuff that you thought about would be nice to have but never really expressed it. Somehow you see that thing is here and you feel like, yeah, that's the thing, like this is it. You can even smell it. Was it like that for you? Waiting for deployment worker. Okay. Partitioned rollout complete. 2 new pods have been updated. Okay, the last command will wait for everything to start. We've filtered out all messages about resources that it doesn't know how to wait for. To check that the Buildbarn frontend is accessible, we can use gRPC client CLI. I saw this. Oh, add it to the list of shellnix and save it and run. We're gonna add this. Oh, that's what I saw in the shell. Oh, I'm inside of Kubernetes. So if I go dears, okay. Why did he use push D though? Why did he use push D? That's just interesting. Like, how would I return now? We can exit the BB deployments directory now, popd. Okay. Add it to shellnix. So how do I add this to shellnix? Like this? I forgot. How would you add this? I mean, I could write the absolute path, but how would I? Wait, Buildbarn BB deployments, Kubernetes. Okay, I used push D to enter two directories. Two directories inside my working directory. Now I want to edit a shell.nix file that is up, that is two parent directories above. How do I do that? You can do so without leaving your current directory using a relative path. Right, I will have to use these two. Okay. Yeah, this. Okay, good. So D said to add, so dash dash slash, no, dot dot slash dot dot slash. So gRPC client CLI, gRPC client CLI, gRPC client CLI. And DRenv is loading. Well, DRenv is so nice, right? Very, like, it's in real time. You don't have to. It's nice. It's an extension to a shell, but you almost like, well, maybe you don't want it to be automatic. Yeah, because it could be misused. Okay, downloading. It's taking a while to execute. Did we do this kubectl apply? Rollout status. I did. Okay, the last command, add it to a list, save it and run. Okay, we save this and run. Status serving. Well, I'll just actually email. Let me add. Hello, Arnaud. Hello. Hello, Arnaud. Thank you. And I have managed to fix the issues that I updated the public gist. I updated the public gist. I'm actually following along the blog right now. Following along the blog right now. I have managed to fix the issues, and so I updated the public gist. with the new info. I'm actually, wait, I public the public gist. Thank you, and I have, okay, thank you, I have managed to fix the issues, and so I updated the public gist. I'm actually following along the blog right now. Also, I will apply then. In any case, I feel since I do want it, if something that you want to do. Also, I will apply then since I do want it. And yeah, what else? What would, yeah, it's I think it will help me. I think it will help. In any case, it's good to be inspired. No, wait, I think it will help in any case to be, I think it will help in any case. I think it will be helpful. It will be helpful. I will try, I will apply then since I do want it. I think it will be helpful to be inspired a bit. To be inspired. I think it will be helpful to be inspired about it. Okay, all best. Also, I will apply then since I do want it. Thanks. I think it will be helpful to be inspired about it. No, I just want to say, what did I miss? Oh, I did run this. Oh, you were wait. Well, I'm at this part. I'm now actually trying to just write a short email to Twig guys. I'm here at deploying Buildbarn. I don't know how far you got. Well, this all works. This is not much. You can start deploying Buildbarn, and now I added this to the Nix shell. And now I'm here. I think it will be helpful to be inspired about it. No, that's not clear actually. Also, I was kind of curious. What will you answer about it? To do it. I think it will be helpful to do it. Also, I was kind of curious what will you answer about it. In case. All best. Okay. So I just wrote back, thank you. I have managed to fix the issues, and so I updated the public gist. I'm actually following along the blog right now. Also, thanks about the Nix position. I will apply then since I do want it. I think it will be helpful to do it in any case. All best. So it's nice of them really to write back like that. Yeah, are you on? I mean, have you, are you like, it should report that as you see now I'm here. gRPC client CLI is reporting status serving. We can exit the BB deployments directory now. I'm caught up now. Oh, okay. Wait, I'm caught up now. It's an expression that, you know, you're doing something else or you are here at this. Sorry, I don't mean to. You're caught up. I forgot. Is that like when someone is busy? We can use the BB deployments directory now. We can exit the BB deployments directory now. Pop D. Okay, now we went back. We can exit the BB deployments directory. In this section, we've deployed Buildbarn and verified that the API is accessible. Oh, I'm at the same point as you. Okay. In this section, we've deployed Buildbarn and verified that its API is accessible. Now we'll move on to setting up a small Bazel. Oh, nice. Bazel project to use it. Then we'll configure mTLS on Buildbarn and finally configure Bazel to work with mTLS. Also Bazel, mTLS. Using Buildbarn. Okay, let's set up a small Bazel project to use our Buildbarn instance. I didn't know there is that in the title? Deploying Buildbarn on Kubernetes with mTLS on the side. Oh, Bazel isn't mentioned in the title. Let's set up a small Bazel project to use our Buildbarn instance. In this section, we'll use Bazel examples repo and show you how to build it using Bazel locally and with RBE. We'll also see how remote caching speeds up builds by caching intermediate results. Yeah, this is a whole another vocabulary. It's interesting. You know, I have a friend who told me like developers these days are like, what do you call those? Miners in old times. So we did, well, maybe that's, I don't know if that's a good analogy. Miners. Let's set up a small, yeah, I don't know. In this section, we'll use Bazel examples repo and show how to build it using Bazel locally and show how remote caching speeds up builds by caching intermediate results. Okay. You know, this has to do also with learning. I think they call this, what did they, there's some of these spaced repetition and iterative deepening. I don't know if you heard these terms. I think it's important, like when you learn something, right? You learn a bit and you cache the intermediate results, and that speeds up the build. That speeds up the way you learn something, right? And it's funny, like, yeah, I first heard this in the functional programming book on Haskell. It was talking about, and that was a thing in 2015 and 16 online. People have been tweeting a lot about this spaced repetition and iterative deepening, you know, which is a nice idea. We will be using Baselisk to fetch and run upstream distribution of Bazel. Baselisks. Wow. So wait a second. Buildbarn. Example deployments of Buildbarn. Base build. Examples of Bazel. C++. Okay. I'm still not sure how does Nix relate to Bazel, you know. Wait, okay, I have to. Again, a small Bazel project, right, to use the Buildbarn instance. And we'll use the Bazel examples repo and show how to build it using Bazel locally. Okay, we'll show the caching speeds, right. So we will be using Baselisk. What's Baselisk? A user-friendly launcher for Bazel. Okay, a user-friendly launcher for Bazel. Go, Shell, Python, Starlag, JavaScript. Go. Is Bazel written in Go? Probably. Bazel is from Google. I think, yeah, it was, it's from Google. Google made Bazel, so it's probably written in Go. A user-friendly launcher for Bazel. Wrapper for Bazel written in Go. Automatically picks up good version of Bazel. Good version, what does that mean? Given your current working directory, downloads it from the official server, then transparently passes through all command line arguments to the real Bazel binary. You can call it just like you would call Bazel. Okay. First, we'll need to install Basilisk by adding Basilisk to shell.nix. This is so nice. We just have to add a single word to shell.nix, right? Isn't that practical? Will it just work like that? We don't need this actually. Basilisk. To shell.nix. If you're running NixOS, you will have to create an FHS environment to run Bazel. If you're running macOS and don't have Xcode command line tools installed, you also need to provide necessary libraries to Bazel invocation. Add this to shell.nix. Objective-C. This is for Mac. FHS is only used on NixOS, so this is for us. Right? This part here. So we have to simulate the FHS environment for Bazel. So we add this packages mk shell. Okay. Packages basilisk. Okay, so that thing goes underneath here. Underneath the list, standard environment. So we just copy this part here and we put it here. Okay, wait, how do you think like this? Yeah. Replace with your shell of choice. ZSH. Okay, I already have this. Required for Basilisk to unpack. So I already have ZSH. So I guess in case you have bash, you write bash. Required for Basilisk to unpack Bazel itself. Okay, we have to lower the light. Okay, so that's it, I guess. Then on NixOS, you can run nixshell-a FHS to enter an environment where directories like bin/bin/user and /lib are set up as tools made for other Linux distributions. Expect. Yeah, I never understood how it. I mean, I know about the FHS, the NixOS. The NixOS does have those directories, but I think it's only to simulate an environment. So wait, do I just run this? Yes. Let's see what drnv is going to do. drnv. Okay, renewed cache. And then on NixOS, you can run nixshell-a FHS. Okay, nixshell-a FHS. Evaluation warning has been renamed. Oh, build FHS user environment. And will be removed in 25.11. Oh, okay. Yeah, he has this in the script. Okay, we don't have to change this. Structured address is enabled. Oh, interesting. Structured address is enabled. So great ways to do NixOS options. I just want to see what's the structured address. What am I doing? No options. Wait, here. Structured. Is it here? Wait, no. Just want to see the structured address. Structured address. Here, Nix reference manual. Structured address. If the special attribute structured address is set to true, the other derivation attributes are serialized into a file in a JSON format. It also makes it possible to tweak derivation settings in a structured way. As a convenience to bash builders, Nix writes a script that initializes shell variables corresponding to all attributes that are representable in bash. Yeah, well, not clear though, but okay. Then on NixOS, you can run nixshell -a fhs to enter an environment where directories like /bin, /user, and /lib are set up as tools. But what does that mean here in our case? Made for other Linux distributions expect. Now we can clone Bazel examples repo. Oh, I see. So, oh, okay, because the Nix shell is a contained in itself, in a sense. FHS is enabled. Yeah, I'm not sure the right term. Bazel user environment. Okay, I kind of get it, but I can't find the words. Now we can clone Bazel examples repo and enter the simple C++ example in it. Okay, git clone. Cloning into examples. Examples. Now pushd, he likes this pushd. Pushd example CPP tutorial stage 1. Module Bazel. On macOS, we'll need to configure compiler and linker flags to look for libraries in NixStore. Echo build. Okay, it's nice. He did write for Linux also. Echo build macOS. Configure compiler and linker flags to look for libraries in NixStore. We will be building remotely for the Linux platform later, so we should specify a concrete platform and toolchain to use for Linux. Oh. You see, this is what's confusing me now. I mean, he did show us how to do it on NixOS. Oh, we don't have to do this, I think. No, we don't have to do this. Right? No, this is just for macOS. Only for macOS. So, like, if we are NixOS, we can skip this part. Right? Yeah, I think that's true. This applies only for Mac to look for libraries in NixStore. I think this part for NixOS looks like it, yeah. We will be building remotely for the Linux platform later, so we should specify a concrete platform and toolchain to use for Linux. But yeah, I guess this part is not so clear because it looks like it, but does this apply? We will be building remotely for Linux platform later, so we should specify a concrete platform. And then build and run the example locally. Maybe let's try to run this because we will be building for Linux platform later, but we are already on Linux. Bazel RC. Do we have a Bazel RC here? We don't have a Bazel RC. Aspect GCC. Extra execution. Well, oh, it's going to create a Bazel RC. So I think we have to copy this actually. Yeah, it goes here. And now we have a Bazel RC. Yeah. And then build and run the example locally. And now we're going to run it. Downloading releases build. So now it's downloading Bazel. 61 megabytes. Extracting Bazel installation. Starting local Bazel server. Connecting to it. Computing main repo mapping. Fetching. Warning. Couldn't auto-load. Rules Android found. This will result in a failure if there's a reference to those rules or symbols. Okay, I think we can disregard that. Info, analyze, target. It's funny, all of these words are like analyzed, deploy, target, apply. 470 targets configured, found one target. Hello world up to date. Running command line, hello world, hello world. So I guess you could say this was a Kubernetes Buildbarn Bazel hello world program. Well, not really, I guess. You should see output like this, right? Hello world. Exactly, we can see it. Okay. Note that if we run Bazelix run main hello world again, it will be much faster because Bazel only spends a fraction of a second on computing the action graph and making sure that nothing needs to be rebuilt, right? Let's run it again. Nice. So maybe that has to do with that shared. Like it won't recompute. It's funny, it's like in one sense it's functional, like lazy, right? If it, yeah, well, Bazel. Note that if we run, okay, Bazel only spends a fraction of a second on computing the action graph and making sure that nothing needs to be rebuilt. One total action. One total action. And before it was 6. Now it's 1. And if we run it again, 1 total action. Is it the same path? 0.1 second, 0. Elapsed time, 0655, 0202. It's faster even. Let's do it again. 0196. Interesting. Let's do it again. 0155. 0257. I thought it would go less. No, okay. Let's do it again. 0160. 0183. 0164. All right, it stays around that time. Okay. Now let's try building it. Okay, we can we can also run Basilisk clean to remove previous output and rerun it to make sure we can rebuild from scratch. Basilisk clean. Starting clean, this may take a while. Use async if the clean takes more than several minutes. There's a dot at the end. I guess it went into background. Now we can also run. So he didn't say to run it. Oh, to make sure we can rebuild from scratch. Now let's try building it with, what's the time? Now let's try building it using Buildbarn. First, we need to configure execution properties to match ones set up in Buildbarn's worker config. What's the worker config? JSONet. JSONet? That's different than JSON, I guess. Local common build directories. Okay. Let's try building it using Buildbarn. We need to configure execution properties to match one set up in Buildbarn's worker config. So now we're going to do image Docker. Wait, it's getting some Docker image. And let's do this one. So now our Bazel RC looks like this. Okay, then we should tell Bazel to use Buildbarn as a remote executor. Right, so, I mean, how would you do this on your own? Right, this is like a job. This is a job. Like, this is a job, yeah. You could really specialize with this, I guess. Now we can build it with basilisk build config Linux config remote main hello world. Note that it's been fun, but something came up. See, yeah, all best to you. Thanks, and thanks for the help. Bye bye, Drake. Now we can build it with basilisk build config Linux config create. Note that it will take some time to extract the Linux compiler and supplemental files first. Okay, I do this. I did this actually. Oh, now we can build it with this thing. No such package. Oh, build did not complete. No repository. No such package. Couldn't auto-load rules or symbols because no dependency on module repository rules Android. Oh, no, error. This thing didn't build. No such package. Unknown repo. Unknown repo toolchain. Is this thing? Actually, there's a command that didn't work. No such package requested from config remote. Actually, so what happened? Maybe this thing, remote thing. Image Docker. So I have a new problem. Trying to use a repository named aspect GCC toolchain, but it cannot resolve it. Check for missing dependencies. Is referenced somewhere, likely in workspace or build files, but not defined. Inspect your workspace file and any BZL files you're looking. Look for load statements or repository rules that should define aspect GCC toolchain. What files do I have here? Module Bazel lock, module lock, module Bazel. No, I don't have anything here. Where am I now? What about the log file? Log file, registry hashes, module. This is platforms. Yeah. But there is a new one. New one at the bottom. New issue. Baselix build. Actually, there is a new issue. I updated the gist for Yuri. Actually, there's a new issue now. I updated the gist for Yuri to see. Yuri. Yeah. So Baselix build config Linux config remote. Couldn't auto load rules or symbols. Let's see, what does the block says? Then we should tell Bazel to use Buildbarn as remote executor. It will take some time to extract the Linux compiler and supplement config files. Use Buildbarn. Bazel RC. So this, what command didn't work? This one, yeah. Let's run it again. Google DevTools, build lib packages, build file not found, exception, no such package. But where do I have it defined? Where do I have it defined? Where could it be defined? Tree. You know, the funny thing is, where could this be defined? If I do tree, okay, let's do home, stable joy, Buildbarn, code, Buildbarn. Oh, this is long. Third party. Look at all this stuff. Wow. Look at the tree, Rust example, shell commands, rules. Oh, wow. The tree's amazing. React, JSON, front end, stage 1, CPP tutorial. This is too much. Why did wow. Tutorial. Roboelectric testing. So it's kind of Android. But why does he download so much? Examples. All the examples are here. Ubuntu, tools, Grafana. Yeah, how do I take everything? Ah, this is going to take a while to me to scroll. Yeah, I don't know how, I still don't know. I don't know how to scroll. How to copy the output of the last. How do you copy the output? Now I'm going to lose it. This is not good for the hand. This is horrible. Never do this. Never do this. Why did I do this? This is horrible. Okay. How do you copy the entire output of the previous shell command? Because the output is so long, I want to copy it out and paste it here. To copy the entire output of a previous shell command, even if it's very long, you can use one of the following methods depending on your shell tools. Use a pager like less. You can pipe the command output to a pager like less to scroll through it and copy it. Navigate through the output with your arrow keys to copy, select the text using your mouse or terminal selection shortcuts. Redirect output to a file. Of course, you have to redirect output to a file. Save the command output to a file and open the file to copy the content. Then open the file. Use your preferred editor. Select all. Write. Copy directly from terminal buffer. Use your mouse. Yeah, so I should have used T to display and save. T output. This shows the output on your screen and saves it to output.txt. Okay. Now, here is the output. Okay, the tree of my working directory. Tell me what would the error I get mean here? Like, where can I find that link that doesn't work? From the error you shared, the error indicates that the build system is trying to use the repository name aspect but cannot find a result. Based on your directory structure and error message, here's how you can investigate potential resolved issue. Check the workspace file. The workspace file defines external repositories that the build system can use. Where's the workspace file? Look for any references to Aspect GCC toolchain. In your directory, relevant workspace files are likely in home stable code Buildbarn workspace. Do I have workspace? But I don't have workspace. BB deployments. Patches. But I don't have any workspace file. Check build or Bazel files. Config, customization, YAML, build Bazel. Kubernetes. Kubernetes, build. YAML. Yeah, ChatGPT is not good for this. Not good. Inspect module Bazel and be as since the error mentions repositories possible that Aspect GCC toolchain should be defined. Module Bazel. It didn't even reference the correct repositories. How to fix the issue. Well, yeah, I don't know. Did I update the... Well, I think it's enough for today of this thing. Maybe I'll start a new stream and do some lambda calculus. I haven't done that. I should do that more. So I'll stop the stream now and maybe start again a new one. Yeah. So this was really fun, and we stopped at this new thing, Bazel build. And let's see what Yuri will write back, which is kind of cool because this thing is kind of happening along, you know, Twiggers are helping out. This is very nice. So thumbs up. Okay, bye-bye.